Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk you guys through our stroller setup for Disneyland in the winter time. Now I have filmed this video over several days, so in the next few clips you'll see I'm in a completely different outfit. I look very different, but I have an addition to add. So after I go through the entire stroller setup, I'm gonna come back with a little addition to the stroller based on the weather forecast. So if you are heading to Disneyland in the rain or in the winter time when you know it's going to be cold and you wanna give your kids a little extra just protection from the elements, definitely keep this in mind and stay tuned for the end of the video where I share with you the addition that I made to our stroller setup for Disneyland. All right, let's go ahead and get into the setup. Hey guys, I'm Corina. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about our double stroller and how we've set it up for Disneyland with two kiddos. My kids are 5 and 3, so they're a little bit older. We don't quite need like a bassinet or really nap time in the stroller or anything like that. But this is a really good overview of how we pack our stroller. I'm also going to share with you some tips to help you to find your stroller and helpful things that we like to put on our stroller and bring with us to Disneyland in the parks to make it easier for your family. So let's go ahead and get started. The reason that I decided to go with this stroller over our side-by-side is something that I actually mentioned in my summer version of the stroller setup of this exact stroller. And that is that my kids are now at an age where they're actually not in the stroller a lot. So our stroller has become more of a transportation to and from the parks in the morning, and if we take a break and then go back to the hotel in the afternoon and then come back in the evening, getting to and from the parks is really when we use the stroller the most with the kids in it. And then other than that, it's mostly for our stuff. So you guys know I like to go to the parks prepared. I like to go with the understanding that we're going to be there for most of the day, if not the entire day itself. So I like to have wherever we're going to need on my stroller, in my stroller, etc., etc. And then at the end of the day, my daughter will fall asleep, so it's nice to have a nice spot where the canopy comes down nice and low. She can kind of get a little bit of a cocoon going and have her own little space to kind of rest as we're leaving the parks in the night. So all of that to say, this is our whole stroller setup. So for the most part, like I said, my son, as soon as we're in the parks, he's down and walking. He's going to meet characters, he's getting in line for rides, he's busy, he's moving. And my daughter is becoming very much the same. And so I didn't want to bring a side-by-side stroller just because I felt like it was a little bit too cumbersome and it's hard to park. That's the main thing, is that it's really hard to park in stroller parking. So let's go ahead and look at how the whole stroller is set up and what I have on it and what I would recommend to bring for your stroller for the parks. All right, so we're gonna start in the back of the stroller here. So back here I have our diaper bag. This is the bag that I will carry into the parks. And as you can see, I have snack towers on it. I've got some quick access stuff here. But then how I have this hanging on the stroller are these little carabiners, and I love these because they're really flexible. It's kind of, you have to work to get the bag off of here, it's not just a little hook. So it's really nice, and these are super versatile and easy to manipulate and move around if you need to. I also have an extra one with nothing on it just in case we need to carry shopping bags or an extra bag on here. My dad will bring a backpack, and so if he wants to hook it onto the stroller, he totally can. So we have the flexibility to have that as well. The first thing I want to talk about that's really important to make sure you have on your stroller is something to identify your stroller really easily and kind of, spot it, even if it's been moved from where you left it. So what we are using for this trip are these little ribbons. It's so simple. It's just colored ribbons. This is a Mickey Mouse theme. This one over here is a Minnie Mouse theme, but I just cut them and tied them onto a piece of string. I did two so that we could find the stroller kind of from either way that we're, might be walking from. But this is really, really simple. Such an easy DIY to do and add to your stroller. So you could do whatever your kids' favorite characters' colors are, or your favorite colors or your family colors or whatever, and have that on your stroller. And that way it's not taking up room in the front like those little signs do. It's not something extra you have to pay $30 or $40 for. It's just a couple bucks for the ribbon, and it's easy to spot your stroller. It makes it unique, and it's very easy to just be able to catch. The other thing that I highly recommend is to use a wet bag for garbage. Now what we do is we leave this hanging on our stroller, and at the end of the day we will empty it out, and I usually will just keep it like unzipped throughout the day. Anybody can just go ahead and throw their trash in there, and we always accumulate lots of trash between snacks and, you know, if it's cold outside, your nose gets cold. My nose always runs when it's cold. So tissues, like anything like that we have to use, we're always wiping hands after we come off of rides. So we're tossing wet ones in here. And at the end of the day, when we leave the parks, we just dump it out, attach it back to our stroller, and then we're good to go for the next day. So this is something I keep on my stroller all the time, even just like at home, no matter where I'm going, I have a little trash bag on my stroller. And this has become just like so normal and really easy to use for our family. So I highly recommend that. That way you're not just like junking up your stroller or your pockets with garbage everywhere, because it happens so easily, so quickly. All right, let's talk about my stroller caddy. This one is by Itsy Ritsy. And what I really like about it is, number one, you have room to fit like 3 drinks in here, essentially. Obviously in the middle, I have wipes, and I like to start out with like a fuller pack of wipes, and then throughout our park days, we will dwindle down, but it makes sure that we have plenty of wipes available for us. And then in this little front pocket here, I have wet ones. So usually I will keep this open, or I'll just put the wet ones right here. This middle spot is also where I will stick my phone so that I have easy access to it if I happen to like just put it down for a minute as we're walking, but I want to check for like wait times or lightning lane or something like that. Also in this pocket, I have an extra clip that you will see that's on the front of the stroller on my daughter's seat. And I just keep an extra one of those in case we need to clip anything onto the stroller itself. But I love this pocket because it zips up, so everything's tucked away really nicely, but it's super easy to grab. All right, moving right around to this hook over here. This is a Mickey hook. And what is so great about this is that it is a hefty one. So I have on here our little like picnic blanket. So like our, what's it called? Waterproof blanket, waterproof like picnic mat essentially is on here, and that just hangs there. And then I also have some water bottles on here. So if you are like me and you don't have too many like cup holders on your stroller, you want places to put your water bottles, you have like a lot of people in your family, you can easily hook them onto a hook like this. Doesn't have to be the Mickey, could be any kind of hook, but easy to just get on and off there whenever anyone's thirsty. So I could go ahead and hand that to my son, I could grab mine off, you know, etc., etc. So really handy to have that there. And then when you go to like, you know, get refill waters, you can easily just pop these off, refill them, reattach them, and they're good to go. So again, I've got another one of those little stroller identifiers right here. And then moving down to something that is really handy for toddlers who want a little bit of independence sometimes, but you want to keep them close, is this little, I don't know what you'd call it, strap, I guess. A little wrist strap. There we go. Okay, so there you go. So you could wrap this around their wrist, and then you will know that, you know, your kiddo's nice and close, but they get the freedom of being able to walk next to you by the stroller. You can also just have them hold on to it. My kids are actually really used to that. They just will grab onto it and hold on and know that like they're not supposed to let go until mommy or daddy says so. So that's really nice too. You can see I have one on the other side too, and I just keep it looped all the way around the stroller just when we're not using it. So it's kind of easier and like more condensed rather than just like dangling here. But this one is just, I wanted to show you guys kind of what it looks like. And it gives them like a good amount of distance, but obviously when you're in a crowd, it keeps them close to you also, and they're not just running off, hopefully. All right, let's talk about what's in the actual stroller down here. So underneath my son's little bench seat is our other diaper bag. Obviously, you don't have to have 2 bags if you're not crazy like me, but if it's helpful and you need to, there's plenty of space. You can have one on your handlebars, one down here. You could honestly even fit probably 2 down here, or like a larger, like, you know, kind of duffel bag sort of situation, and just have like a smaller bag with you. So things like that, whatever you want to do. Let's look at this back pocket here, because I love these clear bags. I use them all over the place all the time to organize stuff. In here, I just have 2 of these little Christmas light necklaces. Okay, so here's what they look like. They are not the Disney ones, but they, I mean, they're pretty similar. So these are from Amazon. They come as a set of 4, and I want to say it was like $18 or $20 for the 4. So definitely a great deal for that. My kids love those, and they get really excited to use them in the parks. And then this other bag is actually 2 blankets. Now, if we were doing our side-by-side stroller, I'd probably just do one larger blanket in this pouch. But since I have 2 different seats, I want a blanket for per kiddo. So I have 2 blankets in here, 1 per kiddo. And then these are really great just because they'll keep everything, you know, from getting wet if it gets wet, you know, if we need that. And then I can just easily throw them down there. So very handy to have. I love those bags. And then it makes going through security very easy because they're clear. Okay, let's talk about my daughter's seat. So this essentially will be her little seat for the trip. And she does have a snack tray, of course. I also have this clip, which I mentioned a little bit ago, and this is for her blanket. So what I will do is when we put the blanket on her, I like to clip it in to help it stay on the stroller. They do have those really cool blankets that have like Velcro that you can, you know, secure them on the stroller itself. I don't have any of those. I wish I'd gotten some when my kids were babies, but we don't need more new blankets right now. So especially not that kind. So anyway, I just use these clips to strap it in, and this really helps to keep it nice and secure and close. I also have a white noise machine over here because, like I said, at the end of the day, she will fall asleep. And even if one of my kids wants to kind of sit down or lay down and like take a little bit of a rest in the middle of the day, they could totally do that. You know, we could like recline the seat and give them a little bit of a canopy, put the blanket down, you know, kind of extend the seat a little bit, and just let them have a place to rest and have that white noise machine on. So that is really handy, and we always bring that. And then I also have this little like Secura strap kind of a thing. This one is silicone, so it's not the actual like Secura strap brand. They're just, again, from Amazon, off brand, but I came in a pack of, I want to say 10. And these are great for keeping anything close by that you want to keep secure. So on here I have her water bottle, and obviously if, you know, it happens to fall out of the stroller, right, like it's going to be on the ground, but it's not going to be left on the ground. It'll just kind of drag with us, and we'll be able to grab it and pick it back up. So it's pretty rare that my kids drop stuff anymore, but these are so handy. Even if we have like a toy that she gets, you know, while we're out shopping and she wants to hold on to it, we can strap it on there. I'll probably put one for my son also, just in case, because same thing, you know, if he happens to drop something, you know, you could lose it, and you may have just gotten that that toy or whatever from the store. So that is our stroller setup for the winter. Now I will say that depending on the weather, the forecast when you're heading there to Disneyland, I would recommend a rain cover. I have one coming, it just hasn't come yet, and I can't wait any longer to get these videos out for you guys. So I do have a rain cover coming. There's also a really great thing that's like a little side bag that you can kind of put on the side of your stroller, and it doubles as a cooler, and you can use it as like storage. So if you didn't want to have as much stuff either in the basket of your stroller or on your stroller, you could use that little side bag to store stuff in as well. And that would be really great to keep everything protected if it does rain too. So highly recommend those 2 things as well, which I will have linked below also for just some recommendations for you guys. All right, friends, so here is our official stroller setup for Disneyland in the wintertime. So we are out in the garage, but I wanted to give you guys a full look at the stroller because I do have the rain cover with it, and that was not in. And I wanted to give you guys a full look at the stroller with the new rain cover because it is going to rain while we're on our trip. So I went ahead and bought a rain cover so that we would be covered. And I really like this one. I'm very impressed with it so far. It does come with its own carrying case, which I just tucked in the pocket right here. And what's great about it is not only does it cover the whole stroller, but it covers the back as well. So one thing that's really nice is that I can kind of move this out of the way, say when I'm pushing and like when we're actually heading into the parks, I can have it out of the way. But then when we go to get on a ride, I can just cover it. Our diaper bag will be covered, and everything is well covered while we're in the ride. A lot of stroller covers don't cover the handlebar, and so that would mean that like our little caddy in here would be out. Any diaper bag that was hanging on the stroller would be out to the rain. So I love this one that it does cover the whole stroller plus the handlebar and the back of the stroller. I will say it is very long. So what I did was I actually tucked it up and then attached it to the frame so that it kind of cascades down a little bit. But as you can see, like, I have it tucked up quite far. I mean, that's the end of it. So it would be dragging on the floor otherwise. So do keep that in mind, but it will accommodate really tall strollers. And I also really like this one because it does have a zipper here in the center. Okay, so here's the zipper open. So it will give my kids a really easy way to kind of climb in and out of the stroller, which that was one thing I was concerned with having a cover that covered the whole stroller. Like, well, how does the second kid get in and out? I'm not sure. So that is a great solution. And then also it does have a zipper on both sides, so I could do that either way. I would probably do it on this side because this side has the little removable snack tray on our front seat. It's a little easier to see that way. So I'd be able to unzip it, kind of, you know, move the snack tray out of the way, and my daughter could climb in, my son can climb in the back, our stroller's fully covered, and we're good to go for Disneyland in the rain. So that is just a little update that I wanted to share on our stroller setup for this trip.